and have these conversations about building business, but they're kids and they want to fucking stream. And that's not a problem. That's not an issue. That's what you guys want. That's what they want, but it's not necessarily what the company needed or what we wanted, right? So that's where shit starts to get messy.
And see, this is where the problem arises. FaZe became industry.
Yeah, FaZe became a company instead of a collective. That is the reason why the shit is dead now. FaZe Banks, man. I did not think I was going to be talking about him today, but something came up on my timeline and it echoed a point that I have been saying for the longest time, even when this whole like new revival of FaZe started. I said that if you remove FaZe Banks from the equation, a lot of these streamers that are within this group would actually thrive. Like, I've been saying this for a long time, but FaZe Banks is a very toxic person. Somebody that I don't know if he should really be heading FaZe, doing stuff like that. A lot of people have that same sentiment, like he shouldn't be leading FaZe. But yeah, it's crazy because within this situation, the core boys going up, it is showing his desperation. And we're going to talk about that today, man, with the core boys exposed how desperate FaZe Banks is. Man. There was a clip of him saying like, oh yeah, everybody in this situation lost. Everybody in this situation has failed, yada, yada. I ain't gonna lie. It seems like the only person who lost in this situation was you, FaZe Banks. It was you. Your Rage's stream numbers have gone up since then. Silky's, Blackboy Max's, Stable Ronaldo's, Lacey's, all of these people's streams and relevance has gone up and they're doing relatively okay and thriving. You know what I'm saying? FaZe Banks, you know what I'm saying? But let's get into this video. Let's go.
You look at, the FaZe accounts and they're bleeding, they're hemorrhaging, like we're dying. And before you know it, you're millions of dollars in the hole, but everyone's telling you how great it all is. But it's not sustainable and it can't work. And that's 100% my fault.
Okay. Takes fault for that.
The truth is, I think that everybody lost. I think that I lost. I think that the boys lost. I think that FaZe, of course, lost. And I think the biggest loser in all of this is you guys.
I ain't gonna lie. Why does it seem like every time he like does something for FaZe or like tries to push the needle forward for FaZe, it always ends up in an L? Like, I'm not even like hating trying to say that. I'm just going off of history. Why has it always been? It was good from a start, but then it just slowly started becoming an L. Like, why is this a reoccurring thing? We saw this even during the quote unquote like middle stage of FaZe, like mid 2010s, like you know what I'm saying? The first death, if you wanted to call it that.
We deadass will never have another partner segment in our lives. No, we gotta figure out.
This picture is a recreated FaZe picture, and I constructed this picture on set. Like, I told them all, like, crowd in and make this picture, and we took a picture. This was my direction, my vision.
Oh, brother, this old man still doesn't get it. Literally just yesterday at the end of April, FaZe Banks decided that it was time for him to return to the internet and make a statement as to what happened to FaZe and his new venture.
Dog, I think in my last FaZe Banks video talking about him, I said, hey, bro, take a break from the internet for a while. Hey, bro did not listen to me at all.
Constructed set, a very corporate look, one in which I think the lighting was actually very beneficial, and announced that he is basically becoming the Andrew Tate of the space and saying that he is going to turn into this financial guru, one that is supposed to help young men in their new endeavors. But what I do find
the red pill, I can help you get money, buy my course head ass method. Oh boy. Is this gonna be like your NFT, dude? Is this gonna be like your crypto, man? Oh shit, dude. Oh man.
The ex-FaZe boys, now going by the name of Core, decided to do the most rock and roll thing ever and stomp on FaZe Banks' new emergence to the scene with the introduction of their own channel, their own group content, and their new content house. Banks was watching as the new generation recreated FaZe without needing FaZe anymore. He can say that that image that they had is a reconstruction of an image that he had once made, but that's the problem right there. The image lives on because it didn't need the corporate entity behind it. The chemistry survived, the audience survived. It's the company and the corporate interests that ultimately ruined the group that are no longer there, and that's exactly what the space needed. Banks had built the room, but Core had walked out with the culture needed to carry on in the streaming space. If you're new to this and haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's gonna go a long way for the channel. I will never let our corporate overlords overtake us, and your subscription means that we're a real community and real people. Now, back into the video. For those of you who don't know, this is a very special day for me. It is something that I talked about a minute ago when I was called to center stage to address the FaZe, well, ex-FaZe guys now at this point, about the inner workings of their business. Ultimately, I would be vindicated. I know, I'm tooting my own horn. It's gonna come full circle here in a second. And now, after...
Hey, if anybody thinks that I'm dunking on FaZe Banks in this video, oh my God, fool. This man right here, Omeezy, is really the one dunking on this nigga, bruh.
Just a short amount of time, we are seeing,
and rightfully so. Like everything that Omeezy has said up to this point about FaZe, the trajectory of FaZe and FaZe Banks, it has all come back to have been right. It was kind of like the Bruce stuff when he was talking about FaZe and some of the other things in the streaming community. He may have looked crazy at the time, but boy, were these motherfuckers right. You know what I mean?
The power of friendship really prevailed. You see, the problem was that FaZe was never supposed to be a normal company. It was supposed to be something that was the opposite of that. It was punk rock, it was rock and roll, it was hip hop, but for the industry that is now the internet / social media and content creation. These were friends, these were gaming, this was streams, this was content, this was culture live.
For what it's worth, for what I believe, I think that FaZe should always be a group of friends who are performing internet culture live. That's what it's always been. That's what it always should be. And that's clearly what people care about.
I think that FaZe Banks, or whatever he's calling himself nowadays, would know that better than anyone. FaZe became legendary because it was impossible to manufacture. It was not professional in the traditional sense. It was supposed to be authentic. It was supposed to be real. It was never the appeal that there was some sort of corporate entity pulling the puppet strings behind it. No, that was never the case. But the problem was that once FaZe from...
This is something that I've said with streaming, but also with just any industry in general. Once it gets corporate, dude, the shit gets cooked, bro. Whether it's streaming, music, especially music. God damn. Good fucking Lord. But yeah, once you bring the corporate side into it, once I saw that FaZe was becoming a company instead of a collective, that's when I knew shit was cooked. I'm not gonna lie. That's when I knew shit was over, bro. And I had that moment of eureka in like probably 2018, 2019, when the first death came, when the first death of FaZe came.
FaZe reached some sort of success. It started to chase the industry validation and decided to go into the more corporate and more professional space. And this is where it all went left. FaZe didn't become legendary because it looked like some company that we're used to. It actually became legendary because it was the total opposite. But the bigger that FaZe got, the more it started acting and operating like a traditional company.
Like something
and
it wasn't,
at that point, the machine started to disrupt as opposed to build and help it navigate. You had more money, more structure, more oversight, and more pressure to monetize. And at that point, all of the base and foundation that it built on, this is where stuff started to get compromised.
And I tried to extend that experience to these guys and have these conversations about building business, but they're kids and they want to fucking stream. And that's not a problem. That's not an issue. That's what you guys want. That's what they want, but it's not necessarily what the company needed or what we wanted, right? So that's where shit starts to get messy.
And see, this is where the problem arises. FaZe became industry.
Yeah, FaZe became a company instead of a collective. That is the reason why the shit is dead now. All the people from like a couple years ago that were like, oh my gosh, we're gonna make this a company and this shit's gonna blow up and yada yada. No, bruh, no. If FaZe literally just stayed a collective and started being less corporate, nigga, we'd probably be having a way different conversation today, bro. I probably would be watching this video. FaZe Banks would be having the conversations that he's having now. Like, we would be talking about different shit.
Creators wanted to create, but the company needed some sort of monetization. The only way that they were going to continue any sort of backing when it came to these guys is if they saw some sort of return. And I guess that would be fine if it was explicitly spoken about, but that's where the shystiness of Banks himself came into play. You've now set up this business on the foundation of friendship, vibes, chaos, and live culture, and now they are trying to extract that feeling while not being 100% upfront with everybody that's involved.
Tomorrow, everybody were to leave FaZe, right? Is FaZe bigger because of the guys and what they did? It's absolutely not. Like FaZe didn't really grow or go anywhere from them doing all shit on FaZe. It didn't bring the brand anywhere.
The conundrum is like a chicken and egg type of situation. Does the brand need the creators? Does the creators need the brand? Do I think that the creators made FaZe financially successful? No, I can only take the word from Banks and the CEO of it all. They had to spend a lot of bread, and I do mean a lot of bread, to make these guys look more poppin', look more successful, etc., etc. But from a cultural perspective, we can't not acknowledge how impactful and important these individual creators were into taking FaZe into a new stratosphere. And obviously there didn't seem to be a way for the company to value the cultural impact and the cultural value of the collective creators. And then obviously the creators themselves didn't have any idea or notion or care about the company being profitable or monetizing, which again, I don't doubt them, and I don't think that that matters really, because they're creators at the end of the day. But when you're somebody who's sitting there and trying to make that thing go, trying to force in the creators, force in the machine, all these different things like that, something's got to give and something's got to break. And there's one person alone who was forcing these two things together. It's this guy who was at the forefront of having this terrible conversation where he basically misled groups of people, fell for these different narratives online, and tried to keep everything afloat. Banks knew how to keep FaZe alive culturally. Hey, I uplift these young guys, put them in a place and space to succeed. But ultimately, he didn't know how to build that structure with the corporate entity. And ultimately, it became unsustainable and it failed.
And that's 100% my fault. That was my job to figure that out. And I cared more about fucking Twitter and more about the content and more about the brand stuff. But now it's in a fucking worse spot in a lot of ways than it's ever been. So it's like, fuck, man. Like it's crazy ironic, and it's
sometimes you'll see FaZe Banks take accountability, other times you won't. It's like very half and half.
It's insane, but there were two halves to this brand and this company. One was very much in front of the camera. We have a whole other side in the back. That's where over the last few months, like, I have to just fully take accountability and just accept the fact that that's where I went wrong in this. That's where I fucked up. Wish I could say, fuck, I didn't know, dude, like, mistake, whatever, but I did.
But also, one thing about this, why is FaZe Banks still talking about this shit though? Like, I thought he got everything he needed to get out in that video he made months ago. Like, a FaZe Banks word of advice: if you want shit to go better for you in life, just stop talking about this, bruh. Stop giving this energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, your name might be intrinsically linked to the whole FaZe shit, but shit, talk about something different, nigga. Damn. Shit. Yo, you were still talking about the same thing. And again, like I said, I thought he got everything he needed to get out during that video he made a couple months ago, but again, I guess not.
Now, let's not get it twisted. Banks is a smart guy. He's claiming that he was ignorant about the business side and why the creators weren't aligned and all these different things, but for what it's worth, from what we also know about him, he was trying to have his cake and eat it too. I think it's as simple as that. He was good at making FaZe feel relevant again, but attention is not the same as alignment, and narrative is not the same as structure, and more importantly, culture is not the same as ownership. So then when you have the creators and the company not aligned, the brand eventually becomes something that, creators have to escape from. This is almost like a situation that they play out on Disney Channel or any kids show tropes where they have two divorced parents. Hey, you go tell mom that I need her here. I'll go tell dad that I need him here. And then ultimately they should end up at dinner together and maybe they'll reconcile their differences. But this isn't TV.
That was a big old fucking Disney Channel trope, bruh. That and a Nick trope too, bruh. That's that. You saw that on a lot of fucking channels, bruh.
Gang, at some point you're gonna have to have real conversation, and this is where I think that Banks truly showed, to me at least, how he became the new Andrew Tate of the streaming industry. There's been accusations of Tate doing his OF services where he manages these young ladies and acts as some sort of middleman, etc., etc. I don't want to go into any details about that, not too much. But Banks starts moving like this, less of a creator, more like a figure, a businessman, a quote-unquote mentor, and the accountability guy. He's the guy that's saying that he understands understands it all. He has everything under control, and he's playing this middleman position, but it all ultimately came collapsing down. And while he's trying to do his own personal rebrand on top of the rubble of that messy collapse, there's still something that was beating and breathing underneath that rubble. And it was the authenticity, it was the friendship, it was the relationships, and it was the content that the FaZe boys or ex-FaZe boys were able to.
Authenticity will always win, bro. Authenticity will literally, bro. If you're authentic with your content, with anything, bro, you're literally just gonna keep on growing, bro. It's when you try to fake certain shit, that's when shit starts getting mixy.
Produce. In the middle of FaZe Banks' big reveal and coming to Jesus moment about what he did wrong, holding himself accountable, hey, woe is me, there was a tweet that dropped from Feared Buck. There was a core house tour. Nobody knew what it was. It just claimed to be a new streaming group. But what was surprising was when everybody clicked on the video, it was familiar faces. It was the ex-FaZe guys displaying that, hey, we have started something new, fresh, and invigorating with some key components of the old. That chemistry, that natural content, that friendship, that authenticity, and an audience that has grown to trust these individuals to produce some of the best content possible.
Welcome to the new house! Yes! Yay!
Let's do it!
New house, new crib.
You gotta pop it off.
I wait on it, shit. Full basketball court and tennis court.
Like, I'm actually about to get my jumper back.
What do you mean get it back?
Like, I had a
You
jumper
have
before.
never had a jumper. Hold on, Dad.
And I want to say,
Jesus
I'm
Christ,
genuinely
Fat
proud
Brick.
of these guys for putting their money where their mouth is and doing this thing on their own. I'm not even saying that it's 100% coming out of their own immediate pockets. I can't say that for certain. But what I can say is they are leading with their friendship and authenticity. I didn't see any labels or names or sponsors. First, I saw authentic content creators coming together to build something special. The saddest part about it is,
And
though, back on
hopefully
the-
this can lead into other content creators being a little more authentic, bro. I ain't gonna lie. The fake shit, at least in certain pockets of content creation, have been fucking insane. I think I think it's time, bro. Return it back to authentic content, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Telling you.
FaZe Banks side, he still doesn't get it.
This picture is a recreated FaZe picture, and I constructed this picture on set. Like, I told them all, like, crowd in and make this picture, and we took a picture. This was my direction, my vision. These guys look happy, man, to be honest with you. Like, it was a fucking good run, and again, I'm seeing this in real time, and I wish them nothing but the best.
How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? You can manufacture a picture, you can manufacture a house, a branding, a logo, a rollout, but you can't manufacture the chemistry. You can manufacture some company. Hell, anybody can go to LLC.com and create a new LLC. But the reason why Core will be successful is the same reason why these ex-FaZe members were successful when they were ex-FaZe members. Hell, it's the reason why they were successful before FaZe. There's a level of authenticity and realness to the content that they're making that, I'm sorry, you can't just pull puppet strings from behind a closed door and make. Now, I'm not a psychoanalyzer, but it did sound interesting how Banks kind of brushed through this really fast and threw a little bit of shade on the picture that was recreated as the YouTube profile picture for these guys. But I want you to know, Banks, that's not your competition anymore. Core is dangerous to FaZe for other reasons. It's because it doesn't look like a replacement. It feels like that old spirit of what you captured originally escaping from that rubble, from those ashes of the building that you burnt down.
And getting recreated as
what
a
it's
new
worth,
shit.
for what I believe, I think that FaZe should always be a group of friends who are performing internet culture live. That's what it's always been. That's what it always should be. And that's clearly what people care about.
When the fallout happened a couple months ago, the question was supposed to be, can the guys survive without FaZe? But after this Core announcement, the question quickly became, can FaZe still feel alive without them? I think that that's where the real damage lies with what FaZe Banks did to his company. Now, during his new market show, Banks did hint at the fact that there may be a return to FaZe, not in the sense of like,
Oh my God, not another. I ain't gonna lie, fool. At this point, just let the shit be dead. Just at this point, bro, just lay it to rest. Lay it to rest, bro. Y'all done tried to resuscitate this shit so many times, bro. Just let it rest. Let it rest. Here was FaZe. Let that motherfucker rest, fool. God damn. God damn. Or at least, if you are going to try to bring back FaZe for, what is it, the third or fourth time? For the love of everything that's holy, shut off your corporate brain for a second. and then think how you would want to bring back FaZe. Don't think in the corporate way. Don't think in it, bro. Go back. Think, how can I authentically do this? How can this actually be fun and rewarding and whatever? You feel me?
But in the sense of a content creator group way.
So everybody's clear, like I would like there to be a new FaZe member. That's my plans and what I hope to do with FaZe. While everyone's telling me I'm a data and telling me that I can't do it and telling me that it won't work and that FaZe is dead and then it's over and to hang it up, I wouldn't bet against me, bro. First person to let you guys know I am going to do it again. We are going to be successful.
But until Banks can realize that it's not about the brand, it's not about the company, it's not about this machine or whatever the case may be, it's more so about the individuals that make up the content creation group, then I don't think that any future endeavors that he will prop up in the next couple years or whatever time span will be successful. Sure, they'll get views. Sure, they'll see accolades and stuff like that because that's what companies can afford you. That's what money can buy you. But at the end of the day, if you don't do the right things to channel that soul of a company, it's gonna leave.
About to say it, bro. It may look good in the short term, and that's what you see a lot with like anything FaZe Banks puts his hands on. You know what I'm saying? It looks good in the short term, but when we talk about longevity, that's where things start to get mixy. That's where things start to get a little. So yeah, if you want this third, fourth rendition of FaZe to be good and have longevity and shit like that, take what Omizi says and actually use that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, don't, because it's not like he said, it's not about the brand. It's not about none of that shit. It's about the creators themselves and the impact that they have. Period.
And it's gonna make another group like Core did. You see, FaZe didn't lose because the creators left. FaZe lost because the creators proved that they were the company all along. They were the X factor all along. They were bigger than the machine, which is kind of crazy to think about, but it's the truth at the same time. And I don't know if this soul is gonna be recaptured because the leader of the ship is now some new look guy claiming to be an outright business guy, finance guy, attention economy type guy. The world is cooked. Listen to me, you're get left behind guys. Similar to one bald guy with glasses that calls himself the top G. Banks goes all in on the financial.
Man, I thought the tape method was like over. I thought anybody who tried to hop on that wave was like getting cooked. Not to mention a lot of the people that tried to hop on that wave, they're all fucking weirdos. Like, especially that one, I forgot what that dude looked like, but he has like a kind of Turkish accent. Oh, that man was a super weirdo, bro. He had like assault charges and shit. Oh my God.
Aspects of this new journey of his life. And to be quite honest with you, this has got to be the worst rebrand that I've ever seen in my life.
A show about investing in yourself, where we feel an overwhelming majority of young men today are in a losing position. I'm here with my co-host.
Niggas got that. Niggas got the open AI shit right here, the betting shit. Niggas got the crypto right here. Oh shit. Oh man. This nigga is really going into that. I'm trying to be a financial YouTuber bag, bro. Which I mean, ain't nothing wrong with it, but just knowing FaZe Banks' history, we don't know how long this is gonna last and what impact this is gonna have.
Right now, Z, we're streaming from his Twitter as well, and he's gonna make sure that we make a fuck ton of money.
I just think that his first stream back, he should have came and kind of just tried to speak on like new beginnings and stuff. It was good how he did that. The intro was great, but
bro, if I'm gonna be honest, his first stream back, he shouldn't have spoke about this shit at all. Niggas should not have spoken about the FaZe shit and bro, that shit is in the past. If you want to build up your brand, nigga, talk about something new, bro. Hell, first stream back, you could have been on your positive, like motivational, whatever stuff. I feel like people probably would have been a little more receptive to that than you just talking about FaZe and harping on it so much and then throwing a little bit of shade at the core boys. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I just think that like the way it was launched, people now have this misconception that like because of the last shit that happened that made them fall out. That's the problem. I think it could have waited.
And this is why I say Banks just still doesn't get it. Instead of taking this time to stream and take accountability for all your actions or inactions when it comes to the downfall of FaZe, he decided to use that as bait or as promo to his new show. And as a content creator, I 100% understand clickbait, rage bait, any type of bait to get audiences to watch your stuff. If you have big drama in order to get people to your platform and stuff like that, go ahead and bait it. Why I do think it's nasty and why I do think it's weird is because these are some of the issues and claims that people had about you. You talked about
I'm about
how
to say
you destroyed FaZe and it was because there was the soul and the energy and FaZe should have been about friends and not business and all these other things. And then you turn around and sell us a business opportunity almost immediately.
I'm about to say, how do you think people are gonna look at you when your first stream back, you're talking about FaZe should have been about this, and this, and then right after that, you're selling niggas a goddamn crypto. You're selling niggas some sort of shit. Like what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like imagine how the viewer feels, bro. Because these are, again, like what we just said, this is the same stuff people were talking about with you.
You are holding yourself quote unquote accountable. It also makes it worse because I'm old enough to remember when FaZe Banks scammed a bunch of people out of crypto using Ross's streams. And so now when you take on this full-on Tate approach without going full top G, I might add, it just comes off as extremely disingenuous. So when you come to the internet with this,
and when people see disingenuous shit on the internet, it don't matter how quote unquote fake you think the internet is, bro. When people see disingenuous shit, they're out of there. You hear me? They're gone.
Super duper nihilistic approach about the world. Oh, it's woe is me. Everything is cooked. I hate it here.
And everything's fucking cooked. Politics is cooked. Crypto's dead. Fucking dating's fried. You need three things: money.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. All these people that have that outlook on life, good goddamn. Now, are there horrible things going on in the world? Yes, obviously. We talk about shit like that on this channel all the time. Is dating cooked for some people? Maybe. For the majority of the world, hell no. You know what I'm saying? And this is how they bait young men in. They're like, oh my gosh, the world is like this, the world is like that, you're only gonna get this thing if you do this, that, and the third. When it's like, no, bro, life is a lot more nuanced than that, gang. I'm not gonna, life is a lot more like, bro, this one track mindset of, oh, you need money and this and this and this to get this, that, and the third. Well, will it help you maybe get this, that, and the third? Maybe, yeah, but it's not the end all be all. Like shit. This man right here is having the same talking points them red pill motherfuckers was having 4 or 5 years ago, bro. Do not fall for this shit. Don't.
Their attention. And 3, the third thing is AI literacy. ChatGPT does your job better than you are fucked, my brother.
You make me want to cut you off. Not because that you're not right. You may be right. Politics is crazy. The economy is crazy. All these things are crazy. But do you think I'm taking advice from somebody like you?
From you.
Feels calculated.
From a goddamn scammer, bro. What the fuck? Like
it feels like you're once again using these young men and the opportunity.
I say it may be the quote unquote right message. I don't think it's the right message. Like he could have worded that a little differently, but it's the quote unquote right message coming from the wrong fucking messenger. FaZe Banks, who in the general fuck is gonna listen to you about this shit? Knowing your past. Now, if this is someone who doesn't know your past, then I mean they're gullible. They don't really know shit. Not they're gullible, my bad. But they don't know anything about you, so of course they'll be inclined to support you and do whatever. But to the people that know about your past, which is a majority of the internet, why the fuck would we listen to you?
That they've afforded the brand and the company FaZe and you to elevate and platform yourself and monetize yourself in a different way. You came back using the FaZe pain that the audience that you even said is feeling right now, and then you positioned yourself as the guy who can see the future, who knows all and who really has all of the answers. This is why you look like Andrew Tate, at least to me in my eyes. It's not the same politics as him. I don't want to put that on your jacket unless we know more, but it's the same type of tactics, the money advice, the attention advice, the fear-mongering messaging that you are trying to get across. This masculinity-coded energy, this guru nonsense that you're putting it off. And you're trying to spin
And
it.
everybody that we've seen being on that type of timing, guess what happens a couple years after? They get caught doing some crazy shit. They get some crazy shit alleged about them. In FaZe Banks' case, this nigga is a goddamn scammer. Like, holy, like, bro, I don't think people on the internet that have common sense are gonna listen to people like FaZe Banks saying shit like this, because it's already been said before by people who were fucking shady. You feel me?
Some sort of authenticity. All the while, we remember that you had your friends on Aiden's platform shilling coins to an unsuspecting audience just to do a rug pull. The reason why this whole situation to me is so interesting is the juxtaposition. FaZe Banks coming back to the internet, apologizing for what he did, but at the same time pitching himself as this guru and leading with the corporate entity nonsense, proving to a bunch of people that he really never learned his lesson. All the while, the people that he led astray and misled are propping up a new group, one that seems to be built on authenticity, you know, friendship, and all the core values that FaZe Banks, in the same stream in which he is trying to pitch a bunch of nonsense and self-help male bullshit, said that you need it in order to be successful. It's funny because he's in one stream claiming that, hey, you don't need the company, you don't need the investor dollars, you don't need all of that to make some sort of streaming group, saying that he's going to make some sort of streaming group. The boys on the other end making that same streaming group with the same thing in mind, but back on his stream, he is showing that he is nothing but company. He is nothing but corporation. And he is ultimately, I don't think at least, going to be successful in this endeavor. Sure, I think that he'll make a lot of money. He's already somebody who has money, so he has access to a bunch of different things. But there's not going to be a capturing or recapturing of the soul and the spirit that is group content that he was once seeking at a point in time.
And what's so crazy is that in the long run, that soul, that authenticity, that all that shit is gonna make these niggas more money. Which is crazy.
And it claims to be seeking at this point in time. I think that ship is totally sailed for FaZe Banks because he decided that he was going to lead with corporate first as opposed to any level of authenticity. And I think that that goes for a lot of creators out there. Sure, you'll get opportunity with these big brands and these big companies, but that doesn't mean that you need to sell your soul for anything that they have to offer. Because no matter how much they pitch to you that they're your friend, no matter how much they pitch to you that they are trying to work with you in your best interest, at the end of the day, the dollars have to make sense. And if the cents aren't making sense and the cents don't make dollars, they are going to turn their back on you for their best interest. It's as simple as that. Shout out to
Yep. Shout out to Amizi for this video. Yeah. I guess this is the resurgence of FaZe Banks, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, again, one thing, I really wish he didn't talk about like the FaZe stuff. Like, bro, I feel like if he was gonna come here on a new vibe, like he should have just started with that first. But you know, it's whatever. We'll see what happens with it. Let me know what this in the comments. Do you think that FaZe Banks' new revival of FaZe again? I don't even know if that's gonna happen again. But if it does, do you think it's gonna work out? Do you? And do you think the Core Boys is gonna work out? I feel like the Core Boys is a cool batch of people. You know, some of these people have had a little drama with them in recent times, but I feel like this is a cool group of people. And shit, maybe might be up there with AMP. Nah, that'd be a stretch. But you never know what could happen, man. You never know what could happen, man. And the Core Boys seem like a group that, you know, is gonna have that authenticity that FaZe Banks was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Love y'all so much, though. Marso Mafia the gang, Marso Mob the squad, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Peace.